Sup, mother trucker? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I am Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me I have some more RPG horror stories. I hope you've been having yourself a good day. Nothing else, that's it. I just hope you've been having a good day today. Anyway, let's get to the first story for today. I was the only girl. Play would spontaneously sit on my lap and sexualize my characters. As a warning, because I don't want to risk raw attack, but sitting on my lap was the only thing. So this is from back when I was very anxious and people think negatively of me and didn't want to cause a scene or ruin the joke. So my male friend, who got me into D&D after DMing a solo campaign for me at school, invited me to play in the weekend with his D&D club members that was in a different city. So I knew no one. I was very nervous about making a good impression and to not slow the game or mood down. They all knew he had invited me, a girl from his school, a week beforehand, and got the permission of course, and asked everyone to make characters for a one-shot he was gonna DM to ease me into playing with other people. I was a ball of social anxiety back then. I made a bard and dumped Constitution. Yeah, beginner, I know. I was very fragile. So I got there and got to know everyone, and then we started the game and characters were introduced. Reached the character of the man in the title. His character was a necrophile. I gotta look up what necrophile is. Ew. Gross. DM, why are you allowing a player to do that? What the fuck? He had a list of conquests. Every time I killed enemies, he would describe how he takes one of the shadows and, well, you know. Dude, that is gross. What the fuck? Why is the DM allowing something like this? That's genuinely disturbing. And then crossed the enemy type off the list. At the end of the list, he put the dragon we were supposed to slay. He kept joking about how my character will die first cause my character HP is so low. He then proclaimed that he adds my character to the end of the list under the dragon. Ew, DM, this is a great time to tell the player to knock it off. Okay, sure, roleplay, why not? It's a joke. I'm probably just unfamiliar or sensitive with that type of humor, but I'm not a party pooper. I laugh with him. He kept bringing up the list anytime I was hit. No, if something's making you feel uncomfortable, you need to speak up. You probably didn't know back at the time, but you know, a story is a story, but a lesson for everybody. If you feel uncomfortable over something that another player is doing, you need to speak up and say, hey, knock it off. If that doesn't work, go to the DM, say, hey, this player won't knock it off, and I don't feel comfortable with this sort of thing. And not only that, they have a conquest list, so they even go with the whole sex pest thing going on, and it's really, really gross, the whole necrophilia thing. Ugh. He also kept calling my male characters female. We played in a language where all words and pronouns, including second person, are gendered, even right after I would correct them. I also later had a female tabaxi character he tried to sell to a chef to be a cat girl waifu waitress, despite my cries of no. Though I guess I try to make them playful and not serious to not ruin the mood. Regardless of the mood, you are allowed to say no. You should say no. Regardless if what the mood is. Mood doesn't matter. The mood is making sure that other players know when they're doing something gross or disgusting that you're not comfortable with is to say no. Speak up. Be as loud as you need to be and tell them no. I'm not comfortable with that. Lay that off. Quit doing that to my character. Quit just being a pest and just leave me the fuck alone. So at about the second or third session since we've ever met, I don't even remember what lead up to it, if anything at all. As I was sitting on the bed, he sat on my lap. Didn't really know how to react and didn't want to seem like I was overreacting, but he's just goofing around harmlessly, only to ruin the mood. So I asked him why, and he said, why not? I just laid back on my elbows so my boobs won't touch his back, and told him after several minutes that my legs were starting to hurt, and he'd get off. This whole thing repeated at least once per session. One session, it happened twice. I stopped doing it once I deliberately made a character that was a raging lesbian. That was weirdly our last campaign together, and we never ever met up to finish it. I'm gonna take a wild shot in the dark and say that he thought your uncomfortable laughter whenever, you heard something uncomfortable went, ha 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 ha. He took that uncomfortable laughter of you trying to laugh and not ruin the mood as if you actually liked his jokes, and then went further in and try to test the waters. Still kind of gross, honestly. I'm glad you're not playing with the player, and next time you're in a sort of situation, remember to speak up. I get it, sometimes players are a little too anxious and stuff, but it's always important to remind people to speak up and tell is when somebody needs to knock it off. It's important to know when to say no, and if you feel uncomfortable, say no. Speak up. That's the lesson for today. Speak up if you feel uncomfortable. Regardless of anxiety and stuff, you gotta push through it to let somebody know that you're not cool with what they're doing. You guys are too strong, I better railroad ya. So I just had what is very possibly going to be the finale of a long-standing campaign, and nobody is happy about it. For the record, the DM of this is normally incredibly good, but this put a sour taste in my mouth. We, Ranger Monk, Barb Druid, Divine Soul Sorcerer, Bard me, and Fighter Ranger, have been chasing an evil snake lady who runs this blood cult for a while. And when we finally found her, our DM started pulling a bunch of absolute BS. First turn, he kills the level 9 Ranger Monk in a single strike from full HP. Granted, it was a critical hit, but the strike dealt 40d6 damage, so that's not really balanced for 9th level now, is it? 40d6 damage? Dude, that would kill anybody. Oh my god. His boss went out of the way to do this, despite having a bear-formed raging barbarian staring them down and a melee-based sorcerer stabbing away at them. In fact, my sorcerer didn't get attacked during the whole fight, which we learned later was intentional. Then he cast Dominate spell on the Fighter Ranger and had them start shooting the Barb Druid. I meanwhile have put Twin Spell Haste on me and the Barbarian. We're fighting for our lives, but eventually the damage overwhelms the Barbarian, and then they just keep shooting him. And apparently the boss had legendary resistance, so they just made all the concentration saves. Keep in mind the boss is doing 4 actions per round because of legendary actions, and 2 of those actions are 20d6 damage attacks every turn. Okay, listen, hold on a sec. I get legendary actions and stuff, but it gotta be having some sort of a limit to it. Like maybe have like an ace up their sleeve, you know, that deals once or twice the 20d6 damage, not 4 turns. That is ridiculous. I've been in games where the boss just has 4 turns over and over and do something ridiculous every single time, like 4 attacks continuously with an extra legendary attack all the time. I've been there, and you know what? It sucks. It's a really bad design because boss just gets to slap somebody down, either focus the attack on just one person and just clap him down immediately without any issues whatsoever. That makes the fight very difficult to survive because at that point, it's like, let's say for example, all the attacks are concentrated on you, you're dead. You can't play anymore. You have to wait for somebody else to heal you and stuff, and just, it's a big mess. The 2 dead players are annoyed, and I'm too, because despite my damage output of Spiritual Weapon plus Haste plus Booming Blade plus Flourishes, this thing isn't dying. 283 damage by the end from my count. That is a level 9 boss. The boss, our final character, other than mine, flies next to them and then kills them. They fail the wisdom save to resist the order because of dice. And then the boss turns to me. First words out of the DM's mouth are, "Pix, my character, don't you recognize your grandmother?" I didn't agree to this. So wait a minute, hold on. The DM is just now pulling that out. So you've had to fight all the way through, and the one character that is alive, and suddenly the DM just pulls out. You look at the boss enemy that you've been fighting the whole time for about 30 minutes straight, and just now in battle, you realize that is your grandmother. That is a load of horseshit. What? You don't recognize it in the very beginning? Huh? He promptly expositions while I'm under a whole person spell that my friends are alive, but only if I help them. He promptly also introduces the entire rest of my character's family as an evil cult that are trying to take over the realm. Hold on one second, wait a minute, hold on. They've been chasing this snake woman for a while. How does the sorcerer character, whatever Pix is, how does Pix not recognize them from all this chasing if they've been chasing them for so damn long? How? What? Are they under mind control? I mean, maybe they're under mind control. Maybe they're just under mind control. They're under whole person, but it could also be like brainwashing of some kind. I have no idea. I didn't agree to this either. My character was just estranged from them because of being a chef. I voiced my concern and he tells me to just keep going. The rest of the players have pulled out their phones and zone out at this point. I'm not surprised the players are just zoning out. This seems so contrived. Everybody dies except the one player, and now there's a whole RP exposition. Yeah, I would have just been completely checked out as well, just be surfing Twitter for other nonsense. He then tells me that unless I help them take over the realm, their friends in the Shadowfell will kill my character friends, drop in their whole person so we can shake hands. As soon as my character learned that his friends are still alive and where they're being kept, I cast a 5th level fireball spell in the center of the room and kill everyone in it. Accept my full health sorcerer. Thanks, High Con. My DM calls a stop, asking what I did that for, and we explain to him exactly what he did wrong. He's now taking a short break from DMing. If you finish the fight with a 5th level fireball and just burn the person trying to hold your control, that sounds like an incredible story plot. That sounds like an amazing story plot. Oh my god. And now Pix could be on an adventure to like save the party members and then take down the family evil cult. That sounds like a perfect storyline. Oh my god, DM, what are you doing? Why are you just giving up? It sounds excellent. I mean, the whole fight and the whole nonsense, like, or it's your grandmother kind of thing. You could just retcon and be like, the person tried to manipulate their head or to manipulate them for some sort of fake memory, implant fake memories into their head or something. Sounds like a perfect plot point that, ugh, why would the DM do that? I mean, yeah, it's crappy from the very beginning. Don't immediately force RP storylines and background characters that the players never initially agreed on. Check stuff ahead of time with players before you just start pulling stuff out from thin air and inserting into the character. Suddenly, you have an evil grandmother and you have gonorrhea. Check with your players ahead of time before you force story stuff on them. And don't make fights like that contrived. There's a lot of lessons. A lot of these RPG horror stories are great for learning things what people should not do. Learn from this DM. And don't make a fight ridiculous, and don't put a bunch of contrived, non-agreed background characters into the storyline, and lock people to an RP scenario where they can't do nothing. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.